So in the earlier session of this unit, we have seen introduction to data communication networks, different components of data communication network, then what are the important characteristics of this network. Also we have seen the possible ways of data transmission, modes of transmission, and type of connection between the two nodes when these are interconnected with each other. Now in this session, we'll go with the details of topology. So the word is used as a physical topology. It indicates what are the different ways and how the different nodes are interconnected with each other so as to design the network. So now physical topology. The term topology indicates the way in which a network is laid out physically. Means how the geographical connections are shown of the interconnected nodes, that is given by the topology. Topology of a network is the geometric representation of the relationship of all the links and linking devices to one another. So when the two devices are interconnected with each other, there is a link that links the two devices. Based upon the structure, there are basically four topologies possible, as a mesh topology, bus topology, star topology, ring topology, and in order to combine the benefits of any two or more topologies together, also we can learn and design hybrid topology configuration that we'll be seeing ahead. Now in this session, we'll go through each and every topology in details. Details like what are the important characteristics of that particular topology, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and at least one application of each. So this is the topology of the structure, how it looks. So this diagram indicates the mesh topology. By observing the diagrams, what we can describe is, there are 5 different nodes, that is nothing but PCs, which are connected with each other. But how these are interconnected with each other? This every PC or every node is connected to every another node. So there are total 5 nodes. So it is interconnected to each 4 nodes with a dedicated link. So there is a dedicated link. So dedicated meaning is that is the only one path through which the two devices do have the communication. Similarly, every another PC is connected to other 4 PCs. So that is the most important characteristics of this mesh topology. So it has a dedicated point-to-point connection between the every 2 nodes. Now what kind of, again we have seen as a type of connection, we have seen point-to-point connection and multi-point connection. Again, based upon the data flow, if it is a simplex, half duplex or full duplex. So if this connecting link, if it is in full duplex manner, wherein at a time, this node to this node data can be transferred. At the same time, it can be transferred from this node to this node. So it's a full duplex kind of interconnected links are there. Now let us go through the details. So it says that description, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other devices. That is what it is shown in the diagram. Each node must be connected to every other node. That is also shown here. Now number of physical links in a fully connected mesh network with n nodes. There can be a simple logical question. If there are 5 nodes in the mesh topology, how many possible duplex kind of links are there? How many possible connections would be there? Total possible connections. So how to find out that? See, this PC is connected to other 4 PCs. So n is connected, if n is equal to 5 here, so out of these n nodes, every node is connected to other n-1 nodes. So now, but when it has to have the communication between node A to node B and node B to node A, if there is a single line, so we can say n into n-1 divided by 2 would be the total number of links that are available as a general formula. So number of physical links in a fully connected mesh network with n nodes. How much it should be? Yes, it is n into n-1 divided by 2. This much number of duplex links has to be there. Now, connection of a telephone regional offices, in which this is an example. Each regional office needs to be connected to every other regional office. So this is the example of a mesh topology. Now, let us move ahead and see what are the benefits of this and what are the limitations of it. So what are the advantages of mesh topology? As it has a dedicated links, it eliminates the traffic problem. So traffic would be there if the particular link is shared by many nodes. But here is a dedicated link and that's why it is not shared. So there is no concern of traffic. packet traffics. If one link becomes unusable, it does not incapacitate the entire system. So among these networks or the node, if there is failure of this particular link, still it will not stop the complete network from working. So there are alternative ways. So if one link becomes unusable, it does not incapacitate the entire system. Privacy and security. As there is a point-to-point connectivity between every two nodes, so whenever the message is to be transferred from node A to node B, as there is a dedicated line, so it has a completely privacy and security of the data transmission, as it is sent to the intended recipient only. So there is a point-to-point link between every two nodes, so it becomes easy for identifying the faults if it is there, and also troubleshooting the fault. So fault identification and isolation of the fault, it is easy in this case because of the point-to-point link connection. Traffic can be routed with suspected problems from the network defined. So as we have seen with the 5 nodes, if there is a problem occurs with one particular node, so there is not the only one way how it can be connected. Now with if this is not working for a while, then alternative path can be there to have the communication between these two. So this can be transferred here and then it can be forwarded ahead. So that is not the only option. So traffic can be routed with suspected problems for certain period of a time. But of course there would be some disadvantages also, as it is providing us many advantages. What kind of disadvantages it can be? Now we have seen every node is connected to either n-1 nodes. Same is the case for every node. So there can be the problem of cabling. So cabling an IO port. So number of ports. So if this device, if a node is to be connected to other 4 nodes, then this should have total 4 input-output ports. So this particular node should have the input-output ports because every port is a bidirectional. So it also sends as well as received. So it should have the 4 ports total, input-output ports. That is why cabling and IO ports required. Then the installation and reconnections are difficult with the space requirement. It will take more space, and reconnection of the nodes, if either of the node or link fails, then it is again challenging. What else? Hardware required is expensive. Yes, obviously more links are there, more communication links, so more IO ports, and accordingly space also required will be more, and hardware required is expensive. And that is why due to these limitations, there are some limited applications of this. So it indicates such a topology can be used as a backbone that connects many other topologies. So backbone connecting the main computers of a hybrid network. So if it is a hybrid network which has a different topologies, but as a backbone, so as to have it more robust and eliminating many problems, so we can use this as a backbone topology. So this was with the mesh topology. Now moving ahead towards the star topology. So this is a diagram that indicates the star topology. The connections indicates that at the centrally there is a one controlling element. Usually we call it as a hub station, and to which other all nodes are connected. So when you compare this with mesh topology, what are our conclusions? Comparatively required connections are less. So hardware required would be less. Yes, and point-to-point communication is again advantage similar to that of a mesh topology. Here it is not again a multi-point connection. So again problem of a traffic can be eliminated. But what is a major concern here? Concern is hub station, as this is a main controlling element. By mistake, if there is some error or technical problem with the hub, then whole system is completely dead because it is completely dependent upon the hub station. Let us go in details point by point. So again it has a point-to-point link dedicated. Central controller, which is also called as a hub station. Controller acts as an exchange. So whenever one node has to send the data, this A node has to send the data to B. So there is no directly connectivity between A and B, but while the message has to be routed through the hub. So A to hub and then back to B. So the controller acts as an exchange. It is less expensive than a mesh topology because of the less number of devices and interconnecting links. Again, there are certain advantages and important features. It is easy to install and reconfigure. In case if required to reconfigure any of the nodes, it is not very much challenging and difficult, as only this link needs to be reconnected. Less cablings. Robustness is again, if there occurs some problem or it fails, then again it becomes easy for troubleshooting and reconnection. So easy fault identification and isolation. Each node must be linked to a central hub. That is the main requirement of this star topology. So it's an application. Application is such a star topology is used in case of the high-speed local area networks with star topology with a central hub station. Now moving ahead towards the bus topology. Now bus topology, what it indicates, there is one common line that acts as a backbone, main line, and to this main line then many nodes are connected. This was not the case in case of a star. Star has one central controller, that is exchange device. But here there is one common line and to which all the nodes are connected through the drop line. So node with the help of the drop line, by tapping the main line, the connection is being made. But here the limitation is how many number of taps can be there and at what distance it can be there. It has a limitation. But this is in sharing mode. So if you see the type of connection, it's a multi-point connection. It's not a point-to-point connection. It avoids the redundancy. And it utilizes and it shares the main line, that is to which all the nodes are interconnected. So it has certain advantages and disadvantages. Let us see it in one by one. So it's a multi-point connection. One long cable acts as a backbone to link all the devices, all the nodes. Tap, what this tap is? Tap is a connector that either splices into the main cable or punctures the sheathing of a cable to create a contact with metallic core. So in order to make the connection, it has some step procedure. So it has to break the particular, not breaking actually, but puncture, or the particular word is the splices into the main cable so as to remove its insulations and do actual connections to the copper cable to create contact with the metallic core. That is how the connections are being held. So there is a limit on the number of taps. So how many number of taps can be there over the main cable line? It has limitations. And of course, how much will be the distance between these two taps? It has also limitations, because as the signal transfers from this point to this point, this going again, as the signal travels the long distance, strength of the signals reduces. So we has to maintain the strength of the signal, and that's why there are some limitations. How many number of taps can be there to the main line? So this is also another way how we can show the diagram or pictorial representation of the bus topology. So again, cable that is extending from this end to this end, and in between stations are connected with the drop lines. So what are the benefits of this? It has easy installation. Backbone cable can be laid along the most efficient path. Less cabling than the mesh and star. Yes, it is obvious as it is a multi-point connection and there is a main line is being shared. Yes, difficult reconnection and fault isolation. These are the limitations now. For reconnection, if you want to remove either of the node, then it becomes challenging because already tap structure is there. So connecting and reconnecting, reconfiguring is the major challenge in this case. So it's a difficult reconnection, and it is difficult also for the fault isolation. If there is no directly message conveying from this station to this station, it becomes difficult to find either the problem is in this link or this particular link. So comparatively, it is a fault isolation is difficult to add the new devices to. Signal reflection at the taps can cause degradation in the quality. Damaged area reflects the signal back in the direction of origin, creating noise in both the direction. So signal reflection at the taps can cause degradation. So signal comes to this particular point, then it has to forward ahead to this path and this path. So there can be the degradation of the signal. And in case if it fails, so when it goes back, if the message is not conveyed properly, that is called as it creates the noise in both the direction.